Okay, this is part 2. We're going to start with entering our build amounts. So for that, all you're going to need is your tax roll. And for this, basically you just go down the line and enter your build amounts. There are a few things that you need to think about though. For those taxing authorities that are billed on all properties, you're going to use this total all districts. And if it's just for a school, it'll be these under each school district. So your school operating, your school debt, supplemental, those will all be separated from everything else. So if we start up here, you can see total all districts, and we'll want to go to this page that has the total for your total all districts. Let's make that a little bigger. So you can see here, county operating, OIS allocated, OIS voted. So we just basically go down the line and enter in our build amounts. Okay, so we got those few in. OCC voted. It's going to be 124,235.89 right there. Okay, for state education, that's going to be a little bit different, and this is going to be sort of how you'll enter in your school supplemental and school operating. For SET, we separate out CPP and IPP. So for this, you can see this is the total, but if you go up, we have these columns for CPP and IPP. So you can see state ed there. Let's see, is that 852411. So 8524.11. Nothing for IPP. So then if we take our total here for state education, that 470. So for this, if you click in the cell and do equals, and then put in that total amount that's on your tax roll, then minus, and click on this cell, which has the IPP, it'll subtract that total out. So it gets you just what was billed for that other. And that's how it's going to be for our schools too. So we'll go down there. So you can see here we're in our school district 290. And for 290 for summer, we have CPP, IPP for supplemental, and those are separated out. So we'll do the same thing. So in this CPP column, you can see here school supplemental 5888.28. So 5888.28. And then if we go down to the total for our school supplemental, right there, 188,874.62. So that's going to be where we click in the cell, do equals 188,874.62 minus that CPP supplemental, and then that'll get you the rounding for just that PRE other. So it'll be the same for your CPP for operating. So we'll go back up there. So school operating here, 8323.94. And then if we look at our total school operating just for this school district, 595. So this will be where you do equals 595,027.7 minus, you'll subtract that out. So then it'll just get you the rounding for that taxing authority, non-PRE operating. So basically what we're going to do, you'll want to go through for each of these. So for all of these taxing authorities that are billed on all properties, you'll just go through and add those billed amounts. So I'll just go through and do that. Okay, so after you've entered the rest of your billed amounts, you'll want to come down to make sure that everything was entered correctly. So we have our specials and our admin fee that we also enter in from our tax rolls. So we'll just want to go to this All Districts page on our total column. You can see we have our summer total and our winter total. So we just want to make sure that those match. So we have 3974179.77. That matches our summer. And then we have 61550.08, and that matches our winter. So that way we know that we've entered all of our billed amounts in correctly, and everything is accurate, so that our rounding now will be accurate as well. So if we've done everything correctly, then we can be confident that that rounding column is accurate. Then let's see. Usually I'll just take a little look down this rounding column, make sure that there isn't anything way out of whack, anything that looks positive. You know, if it were a positive number, you don't want that, or anything where the number is so different from all of the other ones. Then you'll want to take a look at that. We also want to check our DDA details to make sure that our exclusion rates are entered incorrectly as well. So we have this DDA detail report. And if we go down to our DDA section, we can see this is the summer season, and this is the amount that should be captured. So if we look here at our DDA section for the summer, and if we highlight all of those, let's see, you can see that down here at the bottom it gives us the sum of those highlighted ones. So we're within about $2, so that's good. And then you want to do the same thing for winter. So you can see up here your winter season. And that's good. We're about $1 there as well. There shouldn't be too much of a difference here. It really depends on the taxable value or the captured value for your captured district, how many taxing authorities are being captured, but it should only be up to maybe $100 or so, depending on how many taxing authorities and the captured value. You can usually tell, you know, for each taxing authority it'll be off about the same amount. So then, you know, that's going to be just based on your unit and those circumstances. So if these did not balance, then you'll want to compare your detail report with your rounding worksheet to make sure that the correct items are being captured, and you'll want to make sure your captured values at the top of the worksheet are correct, and that you have the correct exclusion rates entered in BS&A. So once you've done all that and everything is looking good, and you've looked down this rounding column, and you can see that everything looks pretty good, and your total rounding is similar, you know, to previous years, then we can be pretty confident that these rounding amounts are accurate. There are a few units that have special assessments based on taxable value, so those couple of treasurers will have rounding in their special assessment column. Most will not. So you want to make sure that those columns have 0 for rounding. And a little bit of information about the rounding. Those taxing authorities that have more decimal places are going to have higher rounding. So you can see here, like this one has 4 decimal places, and it's a little higher than this one that has 1. So that's just something to think about. And then, so once you're confident with this rounding, you can take these amounts and enter them into your settlement sheet, into the rounding adjustment column here. And then that's all. That's rounding. Thanks, everybody.